my name is Les Perdomo, and this is presentation 22 for my HJS 250 course. Today I will be speaking about the U.S. Supreme Court, Buck versus Bell, 1927, and in the next few minutes I'll be answering three main questions. What is it? Why is it important? And what does justice have to do with this? In the early 20th century in the United States, the eugenics movement gained popularity. Many scientists and policymakers believed that keeping quote unquote unfit people from reproducing would benefit society. Several states passed eugenics legislation to target incapacitated individuals, those in need, and individuals with disabilities. Those legislations were supposed to protect society while violating basic human rights. From all of this, Buck versus Bell happened. In the 1920s, Carrie Buck was a 17-year-old girl living in Virginia. Due to her family's financial difficulties and being unable to support her, she had a challenging upbringing and was placed in foster care. Unfortunately, she became pregnant after being raped by her foster father while in the foster family's custody. The authorities placed Carrie in the Virginia colony for epileptics and feeble-minded in order to focus on her rather than hold him responsible for this horrific act. There, she was labeled feeble-minded, a phrase that was once used to characterize people who were believed to have developmental disorders or poor intelligence. And officials said that this trait ran in her family. Her true abilities to living circumstances were disregarded by this label, which also made her an easy test subject for Virginia's new sterilization law, which aimed to stop people who were judged quote unquote unfit from becoming parents. Carrie's narrative demonstrates how poverty, gender, and power interacted in early 20th century America. How laws that were justified in the groups of social progress and public good might take advantage of weaker people. The case was taken into account by the Supreme Court in 1927. The court confirmed that sterilization law in an 8-1 ruling in favor of Virginia. This ruling means that 8 of the 9 justices agreed on the decision while one justice disagreed and voted against it. The majority opinion was delivered by Justice Oliver and Wendell Holmes, who famously said, "Three generations of imbeciles are enough." This decision made sterilization lawful statewide and gave eugenics legal standing under U.S. law. Virginia saw a sharp rise in sterilizations following the decision. Similar legislation was passed by other states as well, and by the middle of the 20th century, about 70,000 Americans have been sterilized against their own will. People with disabilities, minorities, and women were most severely affected by the law. Buck versus Bell showed how thousands of people could suffer greatly as a result of a single Supreme Court ruling. Buck versus Bell is significant because it gave the eugenics movement motivation and validated forced sterilization. This decision, which has left a concerning impact on United States legal history, has never been legally invalidated, despite the fact that eugenics is now discredited. It serves as a reminder that rather than defending citizens, the rule of law can occasionally encourage injustice. There are serious justice issues with this case. The poor, women, and individuals with disabilities were disproportionately targeted by the law, and Carrie Buck lost authority over her own body. Courts ignore human rights and dignity in favor of incorrect science. Buck versus Bell serves as an example of how judicial systems can uphold injustice by giving preference to prejudice or social engineering above equality. Buck versus Bell is now universally disapproved of and seen as extremely unethical both morally and legally. The case serves as a disturbing reminder of how bias in science can influence public policy in ways that are at odds with fundamental human rights. The court disregarded bodily autonomy and human dignity principles by legalizing forced sterilization, leaving a legacy of harm that impacted thousands of vulnerable people. Modern law, on the other hand, places a strong emphasis on principles that are completely opposed to the logic supported in 1927, such as equal protection under the law, informed consent, and human dignity. It is crucial to consider Buck versus Bell in order to prevent future injustices of this kind of as well as for legal and ethical education. It emphasizes how lawmakers and judges must make sure that scientific claims are carefully examined and that people's rights are never compromised in the service of poor social policies. To give a summary and my final thoughts, Buck versus Bell demonstrates how helpless groups can be oppressed by the law. It had an impact on nations outside of the United States and affected thousands and thousands of people all around the world. The case emphasizes how crucial it is to protect human rights and uphold moral standards in the legal system. Thank you so much for your time.